Hey there, it is really great to have you on this video, and it's going to be a really powerful one, particularly if you have found that you have tried to make a change in your life, whatever it is, and you haven't seen the sustained change or really any change at all. Or conversely, if you're just not at that time or you're not at a stage in your life where you had hoped to be either professionally or personally, then or maybe even both, then this is going to really resonate with you and really going to help you with that to be successful and get to that level going forward. So the reason why this video is going to be really powerful is I want to share with you the 4 reasons why you wouldn't have seen that sustained change or success that you were hoping for. But I'm also going to take you through the things that you can do if you do find yourself in that mindset or in that situation, so that you can actually do something about it to increase your chances to be successful or to see that sustained change going forward. If it is your first time here, I'm Melanie Weber, and my channel is all about helping people to have success and fulfillment in their personal and their professional lives. So if that sounds absolutely awesome to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button below and the bell notification so you get tuned into when I come out with similar videos to this one. But also too, as we go through the video, if you are getting value, if you do find the content helpful to you, then be sure to hit that like button. Of course, it does help my channel as well. But also too, don't just stop at a like. Why not throw me a comment as well if you've got any questions or anything else that you would like to share? I would love to hear from you. So without further ado, let's jump into the 4 reasons, as I said, as to why you potentially haven't seen that sustained change or had the success in your life that you were wanting. So the first one of these is really overthinking things, or I like to use the common analogy of paralysis by analysis. So what I mean by that is you've got a decision to make. You're wanting to see a change in your life, or you're wanting to take part in some sort of venture, but you feel as though you just don't have all the necessary details, or you don't understand everything well enough to make a decision to take some action. So you spend all your time getting further information, asking people a million questions, and then you've still got to analyze all of that, but this piece is missing for you, so then you need to understand that. And so you spend so much time just analyzing or thinking about information because you just don't feel that you're at that stage yet to actually do anything. And in reality, you can tend to talk yourself out of things because you just don't feel as though you have enough information or you understand something well enough. That stops you from taking action. So the first one is definitely overthinking things. The second reason is that you are allowing, or you have allowed, your past to determine what your future brings for you. So what I mean by that is that you make excuses, essentially, that because you haven't had a good upbringing, because you haven't had a good education, because you haven't had a lot of money, so because you haven't had those things in the past, you use that as an excuse for why you can't be successful or why you haven't enjoyed success up until now. So for example, you haven't had a good education, so therefore you cannot be a doctor. Therefore you cannot be a successful lawyer or any other profession that you see to be a success. And I challenge you on this one because I'm sure you can think of a number of people who have had adversity particularly in their early years, whether they've been a victim of domestic or family violence, or they've been born with some sort of disability, or they've gone through some sort of traumatic experience in their early years, but they haven't let that stop them from having success or ensuring that their life is still a fruitful one, a successful one, a fulfilling one going forward despite their adversity. If anything, they've used it as a motivator to be successful. Number 3 is one that I, for one, am extremely guilty of, and that is being a dabbler. So what I mean by that is that you really just dip your toes into things. You dabble in this, you dabble in that, something else takes your eye, so you sign up for the latest challenge, and then you might last in that a couple of hours or a couple of days, and then it sort of loses its luster. So then you dabble in something else, and you're just constantly shifting your focus from one thing to another. You're not actually really getting into things in a lot of detail, or you're not truly investing yourself in anything to be able to see something through. So you do get involved in a lot of things, but don't really see anything through to the end in order to be able to reap the benefits of doing something fully. So dabbling is a really big one, and I think that consumes a lot of people and stops them from actually seeing success. And number 4 also, I believe, consumes a lot of people and is a big excuse. I don't call it a reason, an excuse as to why people are not successful. And you probably have felt yourself or heard yourself say this yourself, or even people around you: one day I will do that. Someday I will do that. One day I will do that when I've won the lotto. Someday I will give to that charity when I've got more money, or someday I will go and volunteer at that refuge when I've got more time. You know, someday and one day will never come if you don't actually do anything about it, if you don't change your circumstances. So yeah, I'll sum this one up by just saying, yes, one day and someday, they're days, but they're not actual time frames. If you get my gist, it's not by the end of this week I will have this done. If I say one day I will have that done, well, what does that mean? There's no accountability at all. You're just throwing something out there and not actually holding yourself to account of actually getting something done. So what can you do when you find yourself in one of these situations? Well, the good news is there are some strategies that you can employ so that you get a different outcome next time. So the first of these is just being more self-aware, particularly of your thoughts and your thought process, so that you can actually catch yourself when you are thinking the things or having that initial response that you have up until this point. So for example, if you see that you identify that you want a promotion at work that is going to require you to attend a training course, then you take the view of, okay, yeah, one day I'll do that course. So rather than saying one day, you actually register to do that course when it's available. The second thing is just to stop. And I don't mean that you literally have to stop what you are doing at that time. You could be driving, and obviously not a real option. But when I say you stop, you just take some time. You allow some space in your brain so that you can have a bit of clear thought and make a conscious decision as to what you are doing. It's not you're not just going with the flow. You're just not on autopilot of making the same decisions that you have made in the past, and it's gotten you to this point. But you clear some space in your brain to really consciously think through what it is that you are wanting to do, and is it really the right thing to get what the desired outcome is that you want. So this kind of leads into the next piece of the strategy, in that when you have this space cleared in your mind, you consciously ask yourself one of two questions, and they are: what would the person that I am wanting to become, what would they do in this situation? So if, for example, you are, you're wanting to quit smoking, okay, and so the future person is, or success for you is that you are no longer a smoker, you're a non-smoker. So if you are presented in a situation, so your trigger could be that whenever you are hanging out with your friends, having a few drinks, being social, that you grab that drink and your instant trigger is that you have a smoke, you actually consciously stop and you think, is this going to serve me? Is this what my future being would want me to do at this time and in this situation? Or another example could be that you are wanting to change career, and that it is going to require some study, it's going to require some learning, but you're working a 9 to 5 job and you have a family. When are you going to fit all of this learning and study in when still that change of career is really important to you, because it's got so many benefits for your long term? When are you going to fit that in? Traditionally, you've just always slept in, you've stayed up late watching TV. In those times when you have slept in, or you've been in front of the TV watching Netflix or Stan or whatever it is, think to yourself, would my future person want me to be doing this? Is it helping me in the long run? So that's the first question you can ask yourself. The second one I've already alluded to is, does this serve me in the long run? Is it in my best interest in the long run? Is it going to get me the result that I'm wanting to get? Now, I've already said that being in these situations or being guilty of these things, dabbling or saying one day or letting your past predict your future, has stopped you from taking action. And sometimes we feel as though we don't take the action that we need to because it's not going to be perfect. So if you feel that something has to be perfect, so it has to be perfect action for it to be successful, let me share something with you. In taking no action to this point in your life, you're not where you're wanting to be. And taking any action, even just something little, is going to get you further down the road than doing absolutely nothing. So think to yourself, or just tell yourself, that imperfect action is better than no action at all. The reason being is that even in imperfect action, you've done something. And even if it was a mistake, then you're still learning something from that. You learn not to do that next time and try something different. So my main message is, doing something is better than doing nothing at all. I guarantee you it will get you further towards your goal than just sitting back and doing nothing, or being paralyzed thinking that it has to be perfect, that, oh gosh, heaven forbid you're going to fail. Well, fail forward, learn something in the process. And the last thing is to really lean on people who are going to be supportive of what you are wanting to achieve. So these are really people who are extremely supportive of you in your life. So they may not have achieved the success that you are wanting, but ideally you will surround yourself with those people who have, because they're more of a mentor. They're able to give you more crystal clear or more specific or more helpful advice to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So if you are, for example, I guess wanting to lose weight, for example, then you would want to associate yourself, or you're wanting to lean on people who have lost the kind of weight that you are looking to lose. They can give you tips, they can give you advice and support, so you are more inclined to reach that goal of losing weight. So there you go. There's the 4 reasons why you are stuck. You have not had the success or the sustained change in your life that you have wanted to have, and the things that you can do so that you ensure that you are more successful, or you get that change going forward. If you have gotten value from this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and also to share it if there's anyone in your life that you think will also be able to benefit. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video. And until then, do take the best of care.